What is dependable knowledge?
It is knowledge which harmonizes with natural law, which means that it is based upon positive thought.
Welcome back to the House of Ajay, NoNarcNetwork TV, and Oshun Ajay exclusive. I am the Oracle, Oshun Ajay. We have reached lesson 32 of Dissecting the Devil, my people. At the end of this study, we will have officially dissected Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. We have reached lesson 32 of 33 lessons, my people. Let's get it.
Does time modify and alter the values of knowledge?
Yes, time modifies and alters all values. That which is accurate knowledge today may become null and void tomorrow.
For example, when we first started to learn about God, most of us imagined God in heaven to be in the sky and God to be like a big man. And then over time, as we began to grow spiritually, then we, internalized God, and we began to understand that God and heaven were states of mind and states of being that actually existed already within us. Why did this truth change over time?
Because of time's rearrangement of facts and values. Time modifies all human relationships for better or for worse, depending upon the policy through which people relate themselves to one another.
So time modifies all human relationships for better or for worse, depending upon the policy through which people relate themselves to one another. Okay, so some examples of these quote unquote policies would be like a marriage license, okay, that because, if you love someone, you should just be with whoever you love. But when you begin to impose the law on it, by a government or, something such as a policy or a contract, then over time, that contract will expire. And so then we see a lot of marriages ending in separation or divorce. OK, other examples of policies are our birth certificate when we're born, and then the death certificate when we die. Another policy would be your driver's license or a chauffeur's license if a person is going to have a relationship with you as your Uber driver, your chauffeur, your driver, your Lyft driver, whatever. So these are examples of some of the policies that we use to relate ourselves to one another. And the one thing that all policies have in common is the fact that they all have an expiration date. Okay?
In the realm of thought, there is a time when it is proper to sow the seeds of thought, and there is a proper time to reap the harvest of those thoughts, the same as there is a time to sow and a time to reap from the soil of the earth. Without the proper measurement of time between the sowing and the reaping, nature modifies or withholds the rewards of the sowing.
In other words, if you do not put the proper time and energy into your manifestations and try to rush them along, you may end up reaping something, okay? But it's not going to be that lush green harvest that you wish to reap. You'll most likely end up reaping something that is not of much value at all, okay?
Go ahead now and describe the last two of the 7 principles.
The next principle is harmony. Throughout nature, one may find evidences that all natural law moves in an orderly manner, through the law of harmony. Through the operation of this law, nature forces everything within the range of a given environment to become harmoniously related.
Through the operation of the law of harmony, nature forces everything in a given environment to become harmoniously related. Like this.
Understand this truth, and you will catch a new and a more intriguing vision of the power of environment. You will understand why association with negative minds is fatal to those seeking self-determination.
Do you mean that nature voluntarily forces human beings to harmonize with the influences of their environment?
Yes, that is true. The law of hypnotic rhythm forces upon every living thing the dominating influences of the environment in which it exists.
I submit to you, Mr. Marvin Gaye, Inner City Blues.
If nature forces human beings to take on the nature of the environment in which they live, what means of escape are available to people who find themselves in an environment of poverty and failure, but desire to escape?
A lot of very soulful artists reflect the influence of their environment through their work. Mr. Curtis Mayfield.
Little child running wild, watch your wild. You see he never smiled. Broken home, father gone, mama tired, so is all alone. Kinda sad, kinda mad, ghetto child, thinking he's been had. In the back of his mind he said, didn't have to be here, you didn't have to love for me, while I was just a nothing child. Why couldn't they just let me be, let me be, let me be, let me be?
They must change their environment or remain poverty-stricken. Nature permits no one to escape the influences of his environment. However, nature, in her abundance of wisdom, has given to every normal human being the privilege of establishing his own mental, spiritual, and physical environment.
Why is it important to be reminded of this? Because
there are moments in life when we believe that everything is falling apart. What we actually don't know is that, at times like these, when we feel hopeless and at a point of no return, everything is falling into its place. Change is not always welcome, but it's inevitable, and often when we believe that our life is a complete chaos, it's because everything is being arranged in order to synchronize with our true passions and desires.
remember my prophetic dream about the time of change? Well, it's happening as we speak.
But once he establishes it, he must become a part of it.
How will you know when it's time to change and become a part of your new environment?
1. The things you don't like have become unbearable. There is nothing worse than feeling annoyed. It comes out of the blue, like a mosquito while you're asleep, and it starts itching, making you scratch your skin till it bleeds. When little, meaningless, things in life start bugging you, be sure that a change is about to happen. It has to happen. There is a certain amount of negativity that we can deal with before the last straw breaks the camel's back. Something snaps and we take action. 2. You feel lost. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself. We've all heard these words. It kinda sounds backwards, but that's only until we figure out why. When you're lost, you have no direction, and when there is no direction, there is no desire. When there is no desire, you don't need anything, and when you don't need anything, that's when your soul starts to speak. Even though things might seem out of control, in this moment you are in a perfect disposition to accept everything that your heart is completely and unconditionally trying to show you. You're now tracing your new path, and maybe what you really need is that radical change that will help you get your mind, body, heart, and soul in sync. 3. Leave the incubator. Have you ever noticed that there are periods when your schedule is completely packed with adventures, parties with your friends and family, and trip to a point when you feel that you are barely keeping up? On the other hand, the rest of year you spend isolated, even depressed, going through deep introspection. The length of these cycles varies, but we all go through momentum shifts during our lives. We need these cycles to form our perspective of the world. Moments spent introspecting offer us emotional, psychological, and spiritual growth, while the outward pulses manifest as new experiences, traveling, and broadening our horizons. When you break free from the incubator period, it feels like you are being reborn. This means that you took your time to recharge your batteries, take a step back and reevaluate the things and people that surround you, in order to set another goal and trace a new path towards a better life. 4. You feel scared, excited, and anxious at the same time. The incubator stage you have been going through is finally coming to an end, and now you have a new course in life. So, what's next? When something feels scary and exciting at the same time, you should go and do it. Take the leap, as you definitely feel something big is about to happen and the momentum is building. You have no idea what to expect, but you feel that you are on the right path and you are anxious to see what is waiting for you at the end of the tunnel. At moments as such, there is no point in making big plans, as they are probably going to get cancelled or postponed, and it will only give you headaches and frustration. You've set your goal, but the energies are still aligning as the many possible outcomes unravel. You need to explore and evaluate every single one of them before you decide to follow the path your higher self had already chosen. Be patient, stay open, and go with the flow. These are exciting times. 5. Synchronicities. Is there anything better than the subtle clues left by the universe, pointing that you are on your true path? Synchronicities serve as soft assurances that your actions, thoughts and feelings are aligned with your higher self. When you are about to undergo a major shift, you will start seeing number 5 everywhere you turn. Number 5 is the clearest of signs that you need to change yourself, or the things around you, because you are going through times of change that will transform you forever. Nevertheless, a change should never be perceived as positive or negative. It's simply necessary and it's bound to happen. 5:55. It's time to wake up, wake up, wake up.
This is the inexorable working of the law of harmony.
In a business association, for example, who establishes the dominating influence that determines the rhythm of the environment?
The individual or individuals who think and act with definiteness of purpose.
Is it as simple as that?
Yes. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point from which an individual may establish his own environment.
And for me on my journey, I've realized you become empowered when you realize that you don't have to compete with someone else. You don't have to fight for your slice of cake. And it's amazing, so many of us in our society, we always want to fit in. No one wants to be alone. And for me, I've found my greatest strength in realizing that every single human being on this planet is having a unique experience.
I do not seem to follow your reasoning. The entire world is torn with warfare and business depressions and other forms of strife which represent about everything except harmony. Nature does not seem to be forcing people to harmonize with one another. How do you explain this inconsistency?
There is no inconsistency. The dominating influences of the world are, as you say, negative. Very well, nature is forcing human beings to harmonize with the dominating influences of the world environment. Manifestations of harmony may be either positive or negative. For example, a group of men in prison may, and they generally do, think and act in a negative manner. But nature sees to it that the dominating influence of the prison is impressed upon every individual in it.
Too sweet.
Hey, baby, hey! Hey, wake up!
It's a midnight thud, hey, check it out! Too sweet, is that you? Bend over, too sweet. Está tirando el... Too sweet, baby. He's in for it, huh? I can hear it. He's hurting him. Stay with him, Too Sweet.
A group of poverty-stricken people in a tenement house may fight among themselves and apparently resist all forms of harmony. But nature forces each of them to become a part of the dominating influence of the house in which they live.
Oh, Florida, I'm getting sick and tired of you telling me how to raise my daughter.
That goes with the light thing.
Now you're mixing the light with the dark. Florida, don't you understand? I don't want Penny to end up pregnant like Tina.
Since when does knowing about sex mean getting pregnant? It's not knowing that does it.
Penny is my daughter, and I'm gonna raise her properly. I don't care how you raised your kids.
Are you saying that I raised my kids wrong?
I'm saying this house is a bad influence on my daughter, and she may not come back in here no more.
This is my laundry.
That's right. It's your laundry. Take your laundry. Oh. And I wouldn't let Penny back in this house again if your teeth was gone, your last name was Carter.
Goodbye, Mother Goose. Little lady who lives in a shoe. Got one child and don't know what to do.
Harmony, in the sense it is here used, means that nature relates everything throughout the universe as to every other thing of a similar nature. Negative influences are forced into association with one another, no matter where they may be.
I love my daughter. I care what happens.
For God's sakes, prepare her. Don't just let her think her best friend has got a 6-pound, 7-ounce virus in her belly.
Honey.
Mama.
Honey, what's wrong?
He wouldn't give them to me.
Who wouldn't give you what, baby? What's the matter?
I went to get the gym shorts.
You went to Tina's?
No, you told me not to, so I called someone else. But she wasn't home, so brother brought them to me. But when I met him in the hall, he said he wouldn't give it to me if I didn't let him. If I didn't let him.
Oh, baby. Don't cry. Don't cry.
But why did he try to do that? Did I do anything wrong? I told him they were fit. I told him they were fit.
Penny, did he?
I ran away from him.
Oh, thank God. No. She's just a baby, a child.
No. She's a developing young woman. And it's about time you give her all the information you can. Now, she's had a terrible experience, but you can't let her think that's all there is to sex. In heaven's name, Willona, take her home and talk to her now. But I'll call the police. You take her home. Flo. Flo. What is it? Thank you. Sorry.
Positive influences are just as definitely forced into association with one another.
How many of you remember this?
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're changing our own lives.
It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
I'm beginning to see why successful business leaders are so careful in the choice of their business associates. Men who succeed in any calling usually establish their own environment by surrounding themselves with people who think and act in terms of success. Is that the idea?
That is the idea exactly. Observe, with profit, that the one thing all successful men insist upon is harmony among their business associates. Another trait of successful people is that they move with definiteness of purpose and insist upon their associates doing the same.
Well, it was a phone call that actually called us all to arms. It was Harold Belafonte who called, as one gets a phone call from Harold Belafonte late at night, thank you very much. And he said, listen, we've got a situation here. We've got white folks saving black folks, but we don't have any black folks saving black folks. What are we going to do about that? The seed was planted. And I said, let me get back to you, Harry. And the next person I called was Quincy. And Quincy said, well, let's do something about this. And then, of course, I'm talking to Michael.
Understand these two truths, and you understand the major difference between a Henry Ford and a day laborer.
Now, tell me about the last of the 7 principles.
The last principle is caution. Next to the habit of drifting, the most dangerous human trait is the lack of caution.
This ends lesson 32, my people. Thank you for watching. If you would like to make a donation to the channel, my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo links are in the description, and the super chat is always on. If you need rituals, readings, or spiritual supplies, click the link to the Badass Magic Shop. If you would like to purchase NoNarcNetwork merch, the Teespring link is also in the description. This ends lesson 32, my people. I will see you all at lesson 33. Peace. Or spiritual supplies, click the link to the Badass Magic Shop. This ends lesson 32, my people. I will see you all at lesson 33. Peace.